It's a small group today, so it's kind of intimate and nice. Hi, my name is Jeff Bone. I'm with DLBone and Sons Painting. They gave us a 5-minute time span to try and educate you on painting, and that is impossible because we cannot squeeze 42 years of knowledge into 5 minutes. So we are going to forego our video presentation and everything else. And I'm just going to talk to you just as if we're just a bunch of grown adults sitting here talking about painting for a few minutes, if that's okay. I'd like to just address a couple of things for you. The first thing we're going to talk about today is, well, everything we're going to talk about today is how often should we paint and when should we paint? That's normally the number one question every board has, how often and when. I will tell you how often you should paint. I have 2 daughters in college, so you should paint often, quite often. But, you know, in seriousness, how often you paint your complex really depends on the complex, how the complex is built, what it is built of, and the maintenance that you keep on your buildings. We recommend always a 4-8 or a 5-10 structure, meaning every 4 to 5 years you paint all of your wood siding and your trim. Every 8 to 10 years you paint your stucco and the building's complete. Keeping on that type of a path, you really aren't going to go wrong with anything like that. A lot of complexes will go 6, 7, 8, 9 years before they even touch their wood trim. You're going to listen to the other painting contractors in the back. I'm sure that they would say the same things. Once you start looking at buildings that have gone 7, 8 years without painting the wood trim on your buildings, that's when the boards can't understand, well, why do we have to replace the wood so much? Why do we have to put all this money and effort into new wood, new fascia boards, new trim boards, new siding, and so forth? It's because nobody took the time to maintain it. So really stay on track with a 4 or 5 year plan for your trim. Really stay on track for an 8 to 10 year time frame for painting your complex complete. And if you stick with something like that, then you really can't go wrong. We've done a nice complex out in Norwalk where the board, we had a long conversation with our board, and it was a negotiation over a 3-year time frame. And in the beginning of the negotiations, it was, well, we want to paint our complex complete. Okay, well, you really need to jump on it right now because the wood trim's looking really bad. Well, we're going to wait till next year. No problem. I'll readjust your bid and show you what it's going to cost you next year. And it really didn't resonate with them real well. Well, let's flash forward 3 years. 3 years later, when I redid the bid, I came to the board meeting and I showed them, here's your original bid from 3 years ago when you had the money to paint, but you just didn't because of whatever reasons. And here's the bid 3 years later, and they saw the 20% markup from where it was. Then the reality hit for them, holy cow, we really should have done this 3 years ago, and we would have saved not only the time and the effort with the painting, but then we started looking into it and showing them where they lost the rest of their money with the wood trim that they lost and they had to replace. Got to be a very, very expensive proposition. So if it sounds like I'm kind of harping on the fact that you should do that, I am. It's something about this industry that I take very serious for us is the professionalism, and not only from our end but from your end and as board members. I hate to see you guys waste your money. Number one thing I hate to see is to come into a complex and have you say, by the way, we want to paint, but we'll wait for another year. So don't throw your money away. Try and find a 5-10 year program and then stick with it. So why you should paint? Number of different varying degrees. You're going to find your stucco's deteriorating. The more it deteriorates, the worse it gets. The more it deteriorates, the worse it gets, the worse the substrate of the building is. That's going to be an additional cost for you down the road also. I'm getting waved. So thank you very much for your time. We're outside on the left-hand side, so if you want to come by and say hi, come by and grab an information pack from us. We'd be more than happy to talk to you guys one-on-one and give you anything else you need. Thanks a lot.